arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun has gone down.
This is the regional championship for Maryland and Virginia and DC. So all the top riders in category 4 who are over 45 will be contesting the state championship or the state title. So this race is a criterium, which I believe the word criterium comes from the Greek word kriterni, which means circuit. And it is a circuit race, usually held in a city, and usually has 4 to 6 or 8 turns. So you have to be adept at cornering in order to succeed in a race like this. And the way to reduce the workload is to stay close to the front. Believe it or not, being in the lead is easier in a race like that because you can maintain a higher speed through the corners. And sprinting out of every single corner is costly in terms of your overall energy. So I know that I need to be near the front at all times. Everybody's been training all year for this moment, and this decides which riders get to go to the national championship. Folds in the race. You think about yourself, you visualize yourself being in a breakaway, finishing with the leaders, winning the sprint. All of those are part of programming your mind to do the right thing when you're under stress in the race. And that's a mental strategy. And you have the physical strategy of responding to challenges during the race, because people will launch a sprint within the race. There'll be a special lap where they'll offer a prize, and guys will sprint to the finish on that lap, and they'll put some distance between themselves and the rest of the racers. And that can turn into a breakaway on a criterium course, because once you get 6-8 seconds ahead, you can go through the corners faster. So there are a lot of physical challenges during the race that you have to respond to. You can really sap a lot of your energy responding to every challenge. And
so it's not really consistent.
So I don't do that.
Motion.
I don't do that, and I am not really at a level of the game right now where I can think strategically about which riders are up ahead, and are they strong enough to form a permanent breakaway. But if they were, and they were able to form a permanent breakaway in the race, then that's a breakaway that I would need to join. So then I would need to move to the front if I saw that that breakaway was going to be permanent and contain the leaders that cross the line first at the end of the race. Then I need to be in that breakaway. So it's a matter of watching and assessing who's in that breakaway, because there are breakaways forming all the time. Then the mass of the race. It's easier to be switching off the lead in what's called the peloton, or the bunch. And it's more work, a lot more work, to be in a breakaway. But you can gain ground by going through the corners faster. So there's a balance between being in a break and staying in the field and staying in the shelter of the field. A lot of guys who have a good sprint will just stay in the field, and they never chase down a breakaway. And they might not even participate in chasing down a breakaway. They would just stay in the field and stay far enough back in the field that they don't have to work at the front of the field or at the front of a breakaway. And those guys are counting on all breakaways will be reconnected with the bunch. All breakaways will be caught. And when that happens, then they have an opportunity to win the sprint at the end of the race. So in this case, it depends on what the course is and how the race unfolds.
How do you see it unfolding for yourself?
For myself, I see myself staying in the field today.
Staying in the field.
Not doing a lot of the work to chase down breakaways because I haven't done enough racing to have that deep burst energy. I've been training for a steady pace in a time trial. And that's what the pursuit is. That's what the hour record attempt is all about. Is consistent application of power over a long period of time. That's not sprinting, and I have not been training for sprinting. Recently, I've been doing more work to train for sprinting, and I've been doing more racing in criteriums. So I'm getting more comfortable again with that. But it's a fast twitch sprint activity, and it's just a different power application, the different use of your energy.
Blueberries and strawberries. Like them, I do.
Yeah.
Does Yoda have any words of wisdom after that race?
Fast I go.
Not quite fast enough, though. And
So what happened in the race?
so what happened in the race? There were a lot of attacks and a lot of... Hey, to the right. A lot of guys. As the field slows down a little bit, somebody else takes off. And that's called an attack. And so you have an attack and a counterattack. And we had two groups that got up ahead of the field. At one point, a group of 8, and then there was about a 3 or 4 second gap and another group of 10. And that looked like a group that could work together. But every time they had the chance to just put the hammer down and gain lap on lap on lap, they didn't do it. They sat up. And so we regrouped. And there were a couple of times where we went really, really fast, 30, 35 miles an hour to just close those gaps. And but average, I think on the back stretch we were doing about 27, 28, 29, and then on the front stretch you really can pick up speed over that last turn.
The arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun has gone down and the moon